In this video, you're going to learn how to look at fractions in two different ways. One is called mixed numbers, and the other is called improper fractions. So by looking at the objects I've drawn, I noticed that each of these circles has 4 pieces, and this first, second, and third one are fully shaded. So to represent this, I could say that I have 3 whole objects. This last circle is broken into 4 pieces. So I know that my denominator should be 4 because that tells me how many pieces make up one object. Out of the 4 pieces, 3 of the pieces have been shaded. So 3 out of 4. This is a mixed number. A mixed number recognizes wholes. So I have 3 wholes, and I also have a fraction. So I could call this 3 3/4. The second way that I can look at this problem is just by looking at the pieces. So when I look at one object, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out my denominator. How many pieces make up one of those circles? There are 4. So my denominator should be 4. Now, rather than recognizing how many whole circles I have, I'm just going to count the number of pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 pieces that are cut into fourths. So an improper fraction would be 15 fourths. A fraction is improper when the number on top, the numerator, is larger than the number on the bottom, my denominator. Now, we know that fractions are a division problem. So when I read the problem 15 fourths, I know that this is also the same as 15 divided by 4. 4 can go into 15 3 whole times, just like I got over here with my mixed number. 3 times 4 is 12. 15 minus 12 is 3. We used to call this your remainder, but from now on, we're going to refer to it as your numerator. So you have 3 objects left over out of 4. So in order to change my improper fraction to a mixed number, I divide. The remainder becomes my new numerator, and the denominator stays 4. There is also a way to check my mixed number and turn it into improper. I had 3 objects with 4 whole pieces. So between the denominator and the whole number, I'm going to put a multiplication sign. 4 times 3 is 12, and there were 12 objects. I have 3 additional pieces. So between the whole number and my numerator, I'm going to put an addition sign. PEMDAS tells me that I have to use multiplication first. So I'm going to bring this problem around. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 equals 15. And my denominator stays 4. So 3 3/4 as a mixed number is equal to 15 fourths. Let's try another example. This time I'm going to start by finding the improper fraction first. To find an improper fraction, the first thing I want to look at is one of these objects. And I need to figure out what my denominator would be. So I want to look at one object and see how many pieces make up one item. So in this square, there are 3 pieces. So my denominator is 3. since I'm going to create an improper fraction, I know that my numerator is going to have a bigger number. So I know that every object is cut into thirds, so now I'm going to count how many of these objects are shaded. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 objects are shaded, 4 thirds. So my improper fraction is 4 thirds. Now I can look at this also as a mixed number. A mixed number is going to use a whole number and a fraction. So I'm going to look at these two objects, and I know that one of them is fully shaded. So I have one full object. The second object has 3 pieces, so my denominator is 3. And 1 out of the 3 are shaded. So 4 thirds is equal to 1 1/3. And I can use an algorithm to change one to the other. To go from a mixed number to an improper, I put a multiplication sign at the bottom and an addition sign at the top. And I bring my answer all the way around. My denominator stays 3 because I'm still using thirds. Now I do my operations in order like PEMDAS. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 1 1/3 turns into 4 thirds. In order to go from the improper to the mixed number, I use division. So I know this problem is the same as 4 divided by 3. So 4 is in the house. 3 will fit in 4 one whole time, so there's my whole number. 1 times 3 is 3. When I subtract, I have one item left over. So 1, my remainder, becomes my numerator. The denominator is what the outside number was, which is 3, because I'm still dealing with thirds. So using division, I know that 4 thirds is equal to 1 1/3. Our third example, I'm going to start by finding the improper fraction again. So I always start for the improper fraction, I want to find out my denominator. So if I look at just one object, I want to see how many pieces that object is made of. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, 5 pieces, so my denominator is 5. So for an improper, I know that now I just need to count how many pieces have been shaded. Well, 5 are shaded here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my improper fraction is that I have 11 pieces that are cut into fifths, so 11 fifths. Now, I can use my algorithm here. I know this is 11 divided by 5. 11 divided by 5. 5 will go into 11 2 whole times. 2 times 5 is 10. When I subtract, I have one object left over. My remainder comes up here and becomes my numerator. 1 over, the outside number is 5. So my mixed number should be 2 1/5. Now, looking at my shading, I can see that these two objects both have pieces shaded, and I can move that shading around. So I could take this shaded area, get rid of it here, and move it over here. And I also want to get rid of this shaded area, and I can move it here. So I can move around my shaded pieces to make it a simpler problem. So now if I want to find this as a mixed number, I can look and see how many whole objects have been shaded. 1, 2. So my whole number should be 2, just like I got here. This last item has 5 pieces, so my denominator is 5. I got rid of 2 of them, so only 1 piece out of the 5 is still shaded. So my improper fraction was 11/5. My mixed number is 2 1/5. And just to review, in order to change a mixed number to an improper, I put multiplication on the bottom, addition on the top, and bring my answer all the way around. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. So that is 11/5. Now try these 4 practice problems. If the problem is an improper fraction, turn it into a mixed number. If it's a mixed number, turn it into an improper fraction. Remember, if it's an improper fraction, you need to use division, and your remainder will be your numerator. If it is a mixed number, that is when you need to put multiplication on the bottom, addition on the top, and bring your answer around. At the end of these problems, you need to check and see if you can simplify the fraction.